trendy chicks that moved from Twitch and went to Kick so that they could like work in their bikinis at working wood and stuff, you know.
Really?
So
Really?
yeah, it's some really stiff competition. Yeah.
Oh God, well we probably don't stand a chance on there then.
I mean, how do you compete with something like that? You know what I
You
mean?
don't.
And I'm talking,
You
I'm
don't.
not metaphorically saying working with wood. I mean, they literally like wood shop working with wood.
Oh.
And, you know, I mean, in a bikini, dude, come on, you know, like that's,
Yeah, they.
think about it. Us Neanderthals, I mean, what's the two things we're interested in? Chicks in bikinis and woodworking, wood shop.
Yeah, because I do wood and stone carvings.
You know,
Okay.
put them together and like there's just no competition.
Best of both worlds. There's
Mm.
nothing can compete with that. That's
Okay. All right.
But everybody's been talking about it. So Mark Wojcicki, or you know the guy that
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
he's been asking me about maybe going in there and giving it a try. So I finally decided to give it a try and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
I got it started up on Kick, and then I'm still keeping Rumble and X and YouTube going because YouTube's our main channel for the wonderful world of weirdness.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
YouTube is they need some kind of I don't know, like you see so many things on YouTube and you click on it and it doesn't even pertain to what it says. You know, it's just bait. You know,
They have a lot of clickbait
yeah, I
to
hate
get
it.
you to watch or start watching videos. They have a lot of clickbait on there.
And it doesn't even it's not even relevant to what it says the topic is.
That's why it's important that we come up with a good topic whenever we do this one, and
yeah.
like whenever I come up with it, I know how crazy and outlandish we get. So I try to come
Yeah.
up with something, you know, in the name that
Right.
Yeah,
you know, like so
but we're not we're not doing clickbait stuff.
well, I mean, if you want to talk about like the whole functioning behind it, like I mean, we we at least make the topic, the name of it, to pertain to what the actual
We try, yeah.
conversation
We've
is. You
gotten
know?
away from Christmas a little because I mean, well,
Well, who likes
because we were talking about witches but we were
But we
talking
were we were talking about Christmas creepies though, you know.
Yeah, this
That's
is
Yeah.
Christmas creepies.
And the one guy played the elf, the little elf on Ellen too, so that ties into Christmas big time. But
Well,
it was the last time he played an elf, and I think he died a few
you know,
years
for
ago.
Well, too, and in this book I'm reading too,
yeah,
it says another version of fairy creatures shows up at a different time of year as fays are among the few uncanny beings to break out of the late October monster ghetto. Dressed in a bright green version of Victorian working class Sunday best, the leprechaun puffs his pipe, brandishes shamrocks, or pulls his heels near an improbable looking pot of gold coins every March. Spin the year's wheel almost another turn, and yet another version appears manufacturing toys at the North Pole under the watchful eye of Santa Claus.
yeah. See, he's been digging. He's been waiting for this moment so he could read that. You know,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, and it goes on a little bit to say, other than small size, outdated clothing and a bad case of excess cuteness, it's hard to see anything that connects the butterfly wing girl in the gauzy dress with the chubby Irish sprite and the Christmas toy maker.
I can't believe that we don't, you know, all the stuff that happened in our old house that we didn't have more Christmas stuff happen, but you know, because we're probably forgetting about it.
It was just overshadowed by so many other things that did happen there.
And you
Yeah.
got to remember, Christmas, in all fairness, is usually the time of, you know, getting together with people that you love and having a good time. So I mean, I can understand why it didn't happen during that time of year because you had good feelings, you were with your family.
Yeah, but people do tell a lot of ghost stories and stuff around Christmas when they get together sometimes,
Yeah, there's that one song, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, where they say it'll be scary ghost stories, which I
Yeah.
thought was more of a Halloween thing, but I guess it can be a Christmas thing too.
What
Sometimes people
it
get together and
is.
tell stories. I know we always did, like, you know, at our house, that's kind of, if we spent a lot of time together, we'd sometimes get to that subject about some spooky stuff. But yeah, um,
You know what winter solstice is, though, don't you?
it's what, the shortest day of the year? No, what?
Well, that definitely that, but
Winter represents death.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah, it
according to
does.
the pagans. So whenever the solstice comes, you're going from the living to the dead. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's basically what it is. In like old pagan beliefs, even in England. Okay, well, especially in England and Wales and Ireland and all that, wood and trees represented life because it had life flowing through it, where stone represented death. So when you seen stuff that were structures made out of stone back then, they usually represented death. And if it was made out of wood, wood structures, it
I,
represented life.
hmm.
So, and
What else?
a lot of people don't see that when they see that. What is it? The circular. I keep forgetting it. I'm having a brain.
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't understand those stones are representing death, not life, because they've had hinges before where they
There was also
made
supposed to have
wood,
been like a wood hinge nearby it.
right? And it
Oh,
was.
that's what?
Hmm
Yeah.
and
Huh.
they have one site where there's petrified uh, stone that is petrified wood, and it was so spiritual that they put it inside of one of the mounds, and they're doing research on it now to find out what date it was. But that was like the most powerfulest magic to them was that petrified wood,
Wow.
and they almost
Because that's life and death combined.
exactly exactly.
Hmm.
Don't
Now,
get
I know John said there was a.
don't
Go
get me
ahead.
started on the sacrifices in the swamps, the soggy bogs.
The bog mummies, yeah.
Hmm
Hey, also, I just remember, not to change the subject, but I did just remember something weird that happened. Remember when and this is terrible. Everybody's going to think we're demonic or something. You were playing with you were little though. I didn't know it, but so we had a board in the house. At that time, I just thought it was a harmless game. So, I think we played it a couple times, but I didn't know that Austin decided it was okay to play it alone. And so we put up a tree, and my daughter, I mean, she just decorated it almost all by herself. It was beautiful, just beautiful. And so the next day, I mean, we've had cats in the house for a long time, and they never bothered our tree. But this year, one of the cats decided to knock it down, so he knocked it down, and she was just freaking out and everything, and it was terrible. But we got it back together. But then, we had that same week somebody broke into our house and stole one of the Christmas gifts that my husband had bought for Austin. It was a guitar, and because I think Austin went to school, maybe he had been talking about it, so we thought maybe it was from somebody from school, and they stole it. I think there was
It could have been.
and they
It could
stole.
have been.
Yeah, and so, but anyway, so we had a break in, and then what else happened? Something else happened that week. Austin, I always forget what it is. Something else
you
bad.
sure it was a break-in?
Yeah, because they tore up
Yeah.
the
Well, I
door, and
mean, you said he played with the Ouija board, didn't you?
Yeah,
yeah,
I did play alone in that room, so
but actually, yeah, that's where they busted. They busted the desk. They were looking for money and just like quick. It was pawn shop stuff like guitar and a ring and a gun and stuff
Yeah,
like that with money.
yeah.
But so there was that. But there was something else that happened that same week. And so I got really, I was like, I was like, I told my husband, I was like, I'm so sick of this week. everything awful's been happening. And then Austin said, well, maybe I shouldn't have played with the board alone in the library. And I was like, oh my God. I said, don't ever do that. You know better than that. Of course,
I played with it alone in the most haunted room of the house.
I'm just completely disappointed with you two, like getting drunk and playing with Ouija boards. And
we were doing stuff. We were doing stuff with occult stuff back then. We shouldn't have really been doing.
Well, that was you though. I wasn't involved in that, but I could.
No.
But and this thing with the Alexa, we were just goofing around because I didn't even think about that being funny until
been talking about that with Alexa though, Summer. Like a lot of people have been saying they don't trust technology, especially Alexa.
Well, my boyfriend says they can use her if there's a crime in a house. See what's recorded. That's kind of
good, but it's also kind of bad, isn't it? The fact that you have this device that's sitting there watching you 24/7.
I remember back in the 60s, people used to say, well, you got to watch what you say on your phone. The government might wiretap you. And nowadays, people are like, government wiretap? Can you tell my freezer to turn off in 5 hours? Mm-hmm. Government wiretap? Can you order something for me from Amazon, please?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
and send a drone to my house with a government wiretap on it to deliver my package.
I had that thing on it now. You can set it up from somewhere else to start whenever you want it to.
Yeah.
You know, I remember growing up where like my uncles and all them were just completely against AT&T because AT&T was creating Big Brother. So
and I think they were.
And they said that it was all going to start with the payphones.
It did.
Mm-hmm. And look at where we're at now. Now everybody, well, was like we were talking about. Everybody depends on their phones now. You know, it's
Well, but like in a trance, it's what we were saying about the students at Miami. They just like walk in front of cars, and they don't even push the light like they're supposed to cross. They'll just get, they don't. They're always looking at their phone, always, or in cars, and you'll see people.
It's divination. And that's where we're talking about with the AI, with the facial recognition. See, whenever they come up with those deep fakes, where like, you seen these videos where they have Donald Trump or some hot chick with big boobs?
Yeah.
What they do is they do facial recognition with multiple images, and they combine it to create that character.
And that's what's, that theory with music, because I was talking to Austin about that, is how they could create, you don't really know if it's the person singing anymore. Mm-mm. So what's that going to do to the music industry?
Well, they did, there's a channel now on YouTube, it's called Obscurest Vinyl, and it's just one of many channels that puts out music by artists from the 50s and 60s, well, from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, so on and so forth. These old artists with all these weird songs and stuff.
Yeah, no.
And these artists never existed.
Right.
Yeah, they have entire bodies. These artists have entire bodies of work, entire catalogs of work, but they never existed back really existed. They were creations of AI.
That vinyl one that you're talking about, what was it called again?
Obscurest Vinyl.
Yeah, that's the one I go to. My favorite one that he does on there is Satan My Master. I love that song.
Yeah. There was that.
It's called Satan My Master.
That makes sense. Yeah, and then there was the song, the first song I saw off that channel came up in my feed one day when I was